I think the stat is generally people will take a 20% haircut on their salary to do something that they truly believe in. Many of these places are asking for more than
much
that.
more than 20%. Yeah.
But the problem with what they're doing from a long-term standpoint is that as soon as the economy has inflation, because it's usually inflation that bites these organizations on the rear end, is that they've got no buffer. Is they've been already paying people and their whole organization is structured and vastly underpaying people. And then the second inflation hits, they don't have any ability to actually ramp up what they're paying people because all their fixed costs have been based on extremely low salaries.
Yeah. Buc-ee's can pass on. Buc-ee's, when inflation hits, just raises the price of beaver nuggets and charges more for everything and ups the salary of the workers.
And Buc-ee's is the bane of a lot of these organizations' existence. If you don't know Buc-ee's, it's a fantastic organization.
It's just a very successful Texas-based.
It's like the Walmart of gas stations.
Yeah, that's a good way of saying it. And they're not subject to price pressure. They simply raise the price on everything. People keep coming, and they're able to raise the price on their for what they pay people. And so, as Cindy's mentioning, basically in inflation, all of the companies that can pass along the prices do and raise the salaries. And so all of these really tight organizations can't. And they run the risk of losing basically you lose people with options.
Well, yeah, but it's more than that. So there are reasons to not be able to raise the rate because you're in long-term contracts. Like Buc-ee's, no long-term contract. You go, you get gas there. The next day, the price can go up. There was no commitment. So
you're talking about the customer.
Right, which goes back, what the customer pays goes back to what the organization can then pay to employees.
Yeah.
So those organizations, in many respects, I mean, people do cut back on shopping, but in many respects, those organizations have an advantage over organizations that have multi-year, even a year contract where basically their revenue is locked in at a certain rate while all their expenses are skyrocketing. So those organizations are always going to have trouble when there's inflation. But then you have these nonprofits who have high fixed costs and are structured relying on extremely cheap, underpaid labor compared to market values. And so then when the labor salaries inflate, they really can't meet the moment.
Right. But they're trying to lean heavier on volunteers at that point.
But they've already been leaning on volunteers. They've already been leaning on people not getting paid.
Besides churches, what are other examples of organizations like this?
I mean, everything that's a nonprofit that runs
what about zoos?
An organization.
Zoos are now mostly owned by.
But zoos don't have long-term contracts, so they have a little bit of an advantage in that they can actually raise the ticket price.
Yeah.
And yes, they are usually at this point public entities. They're usually like San Diego, the city of San Diego runs.
Yeah. And so you want to talk about the flip side?
Sure. So I learned this the hard way. So long time ago, we went into a partnership with a very good nonprofit. It's a nonprofit that actually percentage-wise pays out like 80 cents every dollar that they collect.
Yeah, so they're good.
Yeah.
In that sense.
And
what was this? In what phase of your life?
Bike week.
Okay. All right.
So Laconia Motorcycle Week.
All right.
And so we, as a drive-in movie theater, which is where we would host a good part of our motorcycle week, the part that we did, we don't have a liquor license. And all the liquor licenses in states are vary. And so anyway, we didn't have a liquor license because at least at that point in time in the state of New Hampshire, if you had a liquor license, people could not be drinking alcohol while parked in your parking lot without you taking on the liability.
Yeah, so you couldn't get a license.
We couldn't get a license, but what we could do is there was a way to work with a nonprofit organization where they could get the liquor license temporarily, and it would be a fundraiser for them. And so this particular organization partnered with us and another organization that I won't mention because we had problems with each other ultimately. And so it was the three of us trying to run a beer tent for the first time. And so the nonprofit we were working with was like, hey, no problem. We'll get volunteers. Like, this is what nonprofits do. They get volunteers. And like, they had all these volunteers scheduled and virtually none of them showed up. And so we had to pull in our employees from the lot to keep this thing going. And then, like, we're paying for these employees because like they didn't come to be volunteers. And so like we went through that one motorcycle week and was like, that's a disaster. If we're doing this again, there's no more volunteers.
Yep.
We're paying people to show up. Yep. So that way they're coming at a certain time. They don't feel like they're doing us a favor. We can actually plan. You can't plan with volunteers.
Yep.
Because it's a two-way street. What happens is nobody values free. And so the people who are doing it for free feel like, well, you're going to get what you paid for.
Yep.
And the people who are asking you to do it for free screw you around, don't really use you. Like,
right, because it's free.
Right, it's
what do
free.
I care?
Like, I showed up in college to, what's Carter's?
Jimmy?
Yeah, what is his?
Habitat for Humanity.
Habitat for Humanity. I know how to actually do things in construction because I grew up in small businesses.
Count nails?
But like I grew up in small businesses with my dad. I know how to tile. I know how to do a lot of different things in terms of construction. Just ask him. It's why he has soft hands.
It's soft. I've never worked an honest day in my life since I left the Army. Look at that.
I show up. They look at me. They ask me to pick up trash.
Nice.
I walk off.
Walk off.
I'm like, I'm not wasting my time doing this. Screw you.
I can't believe you did that to Habitat for Humanity.
Maybe they should be better with their volunteers.